What's a good word, everyone? It's your boy DKB here. I just want to say thanks for all the support. The channel's been steadily growing, and the number you see below, you can drop a text, shoot a voicemail, any ideas, topics, collabs, etc. you guys want to see. I'll include them in future videos and live streams, and I'll catch you again. Be easy. What's a good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here, and we're diving into more of our draft picks, going over OTAs, recapping minicamp, and providing a preview of training camp as well. And we're diving into Tyler Barron today, who's actually the second Miami player and the second player that we traded up for in the 2025 NFL draft class. And this was a position of need for us for sure, right? You talk about Jermaine Johnson coming off injury. With Will McDonald breaking out, there was still a lot of concern about his ability to play the run, even though it did look like he improved upon that over the season. And of course, we can talk about the transformation he's had this offseason. But with JJ recovering, even if Will McDonald can hold down one side of the line, it still leaves question marks, because now you're talking about there being a pretty steep fall off, right? You don't feel overly great about the interior. We're still having to figure out who's going to pair up with Quinnen, and now the third player in your rotation that could potentially even end up playing more of a starting role if there's any setbacks with Jermaine Johnson is Michael Clemens. And so when you look at this rookie class and you look at Tyler Barron, it really starts there for him, because what felt like maybe an open opportunity to fill in at a significant rotation player that's kind of being taken away, right? You're starting to get this sentiment that when Michael Clemens filling in as a starter essentially last year when Jermaine Johnson went down, and then now over this offseason with him rehabbing, being that first man up, this lets you know essentially what the top three pecking order is going to be: Will McDonald, JJ, and Michael Clemens, of course, in no particular order. But with Tyler Barron, that still means he can essentially be that fourth or fifth guy, but he's going to end up needing to beat out two undrafted free agents from last year, and Brady McGregor and Eric Watts, who I'm a pretty big fan of, and I think may be able to make some noise in training camp. And just overall, you never know. We might end up making a move for a veteran-like player. There's definitely still some options in free agency as well. So if they don't feel great about it, it's not a huge cause for concern for me. With Tyler Barron, it'd be nice if he could provide anything in year one for us, but this was much like with Kiko as well, right? His teammate. This is a traits-based draft selection, right? Kind of a safe pick, because you know what the floor generally should be with Tyler Barron if you were to feed him a steady but low diet of snaps. And really, you're looking to refine a lot of his game and what he's asked to do and what you can really leverage well for him, which is a guy that does have a number of different pass rush moves. He has a bull rush that he can operate with, since I think he wins a lot more with power to a certain degree than you would say speed moves. And he kind of is going to have that tweener frame, right? And I think you want to put a little bit more weight on him, but he's going to be following the trend of Michael Clemens and the trend of JFM as these guys that you look to put on the outside for pass rush opportunities, look to put inside to shore up run defense, but also look to take advantage of potential pass rush opportunities there as well. So Tyler Barron, we kind of see the vision and what he may end up being groomed into, which I feel like is still going to be a Michael Clemens replacement. But earlier in the offseason, I thought Michael Clemens was going to be more of a potential cut candidate this year, and I think that might not end up being the case, just depending on what's happening. And then you also have Rashad Weaver breaking out, right? So Tyler Barron can definitely get bumped down a couple pegs, and we'll see what the roster management ends up looking like. But he's interesting because Tyler Barron really hasn't been a guy that you look at and say, wow, he's had a big day here, right? He's multiple pressures, multiple sacks. None of that's really happened during rookie minicamp, during OTAs. And so when you get to training camp, it's not like we're banging the table to say this is going to be his time to shine. He was just waiting for the pads to come on, things to get more physical, the intensity to ratchet up. I think you'll hear about him maybe collecting or being a part of a sack here and there from him, but this is really, I'm kind of treating it as a redshirt year for him, right? Learn the nuance of the game. You have a ton of elite guys, not a ton, but you have some elite guys ahead of you, some above average guys ahead of you. And even in Michael Clemens' case, for guys that don't love him as a pass rusher, we still can't forget his rookie year. He was elite and superb as a run defender. And then when he got asked to go through the transformation and pick up the new role and things, you started seeing stuff become a lot more inconsistent with them, not only as a pass rusher, but as a run defender as well. So with Tyler Barron, there is some stuff to feel good about right now. Walking into the New York Jets, he's coming off of back-to-back seasons, 2023 and 2024, where he had at least 40 pressures with Tennessee and 40 pressures with Miami, and this was across 250 opportunities. So this is a guy that you're not having to project, can he rush the passer? He can get the job done. It's just what are going to be the limitations with him, and I think again it's going to be that speed element. It's going to be a little bit of concern about if he can bend the corner, and then of course having that pass rush plan, right? This is going to be a guy that will probably need to find a way to become more of a student of the game so that he's winning based on some of the traits he has, which would be length, which would be power, but also is able to pinpoint the opportunities that he can take advantage of based on what he see is being presented ahead of him, right? To back some of this up, right, he had an 18% pressure rate coming off the edge in 2023, which again would have been with Tennessee, and then a 16% pressure rate last year with Miami. And this was before he really kind of fell off, right? And after the first 4 weeks or so, kind of hit a bit of a lull before turning the heat back up. But he's impressive to look at the very least. So again, lengthy. He's going to have, the decent sized hands. I think even maybe above average. And he's going to be able to go out there and get some push on the defensive line. Now, I don't think there's really a risk for him going into training camp or anything where you can say maybe he looks to get cut and stashed on the practice squad or something like that. I don't think we're that comfortable. If anything, I think he just ends up beating out the undrafted free agents that we had last year. So if I'm looking at the pecking order and we keep 6 or 7 defensive ends, I'd imagine it's going to be like JJ, Will McDonald, Michael Clemens, Rashad Weaver. Then you're talking about Tyler Barron, and then it'll be someone like Eric Watson. We'll see if we make any other additions or anything. And I feel like there's another potential name that I'm missing, but that's kind of how I see things stacking up. So if the training camp ends up being relatively quiet for him, it's not going to be a huge red flag for me, a huge cause for concern. Now, if we end up getting any news like there's work ethic issues, right, or he's not necessarily adapting to the scheme the way we would like him to be, or he's getting taken advantage of by someone like Max Mitchell or Carter Warren based on what we've seen to this point, that would end up striking me as something that's going to be a notable cause for concern. But we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a pretty quiet season for everyone drafted after Malachi Moore, essentially. So you're talking Kiko Mauigoa, the linebacker. You're talking about Tyler Barron here. And we'll see if there's anybody from the undrafted free agent class that maybe can press for a spot when it comes to trench play. But let me know what you guys think about Tyler Barron. I haven't even heard it, and it's the interesting piece, right? Because obviously we tend to want to dig for a lot of the draft picks, but I haven't even heard a ton of fanfare around him. It's just been really, really quiet, which could be a good thing for a rookie, right? We can't forget they're going through an onslaught of training, meetings, traveling, draft prep, combine prep, all of this different stuff. So if anything, take advantage of this month or so that they've had off, right? And hopefully you can hit the ground running and give some cause for hype. But let me know what you guys think about Tyler Barron. I'll catch you guys again. Peace.